Hello, Chimera. This is me, the Lord Baginix, and I'm presenting you with the top tier list of top 10 hated Gundam characters. And my mom is an audience member, so everyone gives some love to her, but she is not in camera because she's camera shy, which is completely fine. Not gonna push it. Alrighty. So I'm gonna be facing my mom when I'm telling her about this, and hopefully it goes well. Alrighty. So we have this character, Shima Garahao, and stuff. See, Shima Garahao actually was a Zeon top ace. She was lied to, though, so this starts where her betrayal to Zeons goes. But Shima was tasked with gassing a colony of space noids. A colony of space noids is someone that lives in the colonies in outer space, in the Mobile Suit Gundam timeline and stuff, Mobile Suit Gundam franchise in general. She gassed these colonial citizens of the human race with this gas called G3 gas. Think about all the bad kind of gases to breathe in and times by 50. Like hydrogen cyanide, which was used during World War II. Think about that. But moving on, fast forward to when the prototype Titans, or the Earth Federation forces that were taken on the Law's fleet, which is a Zeon splinter group that actually survived the 1-year war. However, they're loyal and they want to be a part of Zeon. They want to make it where Zeon comes back and everything. And what their mission is they're going to drop 2 colonies and they're going to wipe out some of the Earth and stuff. And they successfully nuke a whole Federation military parade. Or as some song artists will call it, the military fashion show. Alright. Moving on to when she betrays the Law's fleet. Shima actually decides to turn over to the Titans, or what would become the Titans, which I'm going to call the Titans to be simpler. But the Titans and Shima were going to work together, and they were going to stop the Delaw's fleet from dropping the colonies onto Earth, even though she set that shit in motion. Don't get me wrong, Shima Garahao, fucking badass. But think about Haman before Haman was a thing, okay? Which will carry us into our next entry, but to finish up this entry, Shima Garahao actually ended up betraying Zeon, basically made Admiral Delaz open-minded, if you get what I mean, and stuff. And that's when the betrayal happened, and she was eventually killed off by Ensign Kawaraki in the Gundam GP-03 Dendrobium, which is a Gundam that slides into a mobile armor dock and becomes something that's basically a nightmare. Alrighty, moving on to our second entry. We have, from the same series, Nina Purpleton. Think about this. You have dumb person that can't decide whether or not the fate of humanity and the fate of the person that she's actually been developing a bond with, that's been caring about her, that's been trying to get her stolen property back, and the bitch shoots him. Now, guess what? Due to Nina Purpleton shooting Kawaraki, which was mentioned in the last one, she ended up helping Honorable Gato escape the Nightmare of Solomon for those who are veteran fans. But for the uninitiated, Honorable Gato is the main antagonist of Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. And he has a reputation not quite as known as Char, but really close. Like, people were like, oh fuck, he's in the history books in Stardust Memory. Because, yeah, he was. He took out so many forces in Solomon. And wanna know something? This motherfucker actually pulled off what Char couldn't in the original timeline. Now, what I mean by that, my friends, is that Char was tasked with either destroying or capturing the RX-782 Gundam. However, Char did not get successful. That's what led up to the events of what we're covering so far. And guess what? Honorable Gato actually pulls it off successfully and nukes a Federation military fashion show. And guess what? The Gundam GP02 gets destroyed. And that was the Gundam that Honorable Gato stole successfully. Now, there you go for a little bit more context. But Honorable Gato is actually going to drop 2 colonies on Earth, and Nina Purpleton, which is our main focus of this entry, actually shoots the nice one over the bad one. That's why she's hated. What more do you need to say? She's a dumb bitch. Alright, now, going on to our next entry. Haman Karn. She's both hated but loved at the same time. Alright, let's go over why she's loved first, so we can understand why she's hated. She's the leader of Axis Zeon. And actually, she was featured in the Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam and Mobile Suit Double Zeta Gundam anime. And Haman and Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam actually betrayed the AUG to side with the Titans. The Titans were actually tasked with killing any Zeon agents or military personnel. So, guess what? The dumb bitch sides with them. However, this is because of one person on the AUG side, Char Aznable, or as he's known in that era, Quattro Bagina. Now, going on to why she's loved. She is loved because she is a powerful leader. She is actually pretty fucking hard to fight in a mobile suit battle, because think about this. She has Elmeth, but in mobile suit form. It's fucking terrifying, man. Now, going on to some more information about why her being in the Elmeth mobile suit, also known as the Cubile, which basically think about like a beetle. This shoulder pad, long extended alien head looking thing, and bell bottoms. Like, she's literally dressed as if she's in the 70s, and her mobile suit is also dressed as if it's from the 70s with the bell bottoms and shoulder pads. Shit. Anyways, going on to why she also has some hate is because, first of all, she literally was so thirsty for Char. She was like, okay, since Char ain't gonna budge and help me rebuild the Zabi family, then I'm gonna kill him. And in Zeta Gundam, that's what happens, supposedly. I'll tell you more about that later on. Now, going on from there, we have our next entry, which carries on from this recent entry. Let's see, this is number 4. So, our next person is Hathaway Noah. He is fucking hated. Okay? He is a teen killing simp. Okay, now look. He killed Chan, which is Amuro's new girlfriend during Char's counterattack. Yay, Amuro. He got over Lala. Anyways, Amuro and Chan were dating during Char's rebellion, and that's kind of why Hathaway Noah's hated, because yes, he's the son of legendary Captain Bright Noah, which is stand-up guy, awesome, but here's something shitty. Hathaway Noah is not the man his father is, and what I mean by that is our dear Hathaway falls in love with this girl named Quest Pariah. Quest Pariah pilots is the Alpha Zero, and that's a mole armor, and the Yogdoga. Anyways, going from there, the Yogdoga. Hold on, I just dropped something.
I'll be concerned for later.
It's probably not important. Anyways, both of these mobile suits and both mobile suit and mobile armor that I just mentioned are capable of Psychomu weaponry and Psychomu control. With the Yogdoga, there's 6 funnels, 3 each on the shoulders, and with the Alpha Zero, there's around 10, plus the wire-guided beam cannons. But this actually is where we get started with why the motherfucker Hathaway is hated. Now, Hathaway is hated because when Chan killed Quest for seeming like she was a threat, because she was, Hathaway friendly fires on his ally, the one that's supposed to be there to protect him, and kills her while she's piloting the Rigazi Custom, or the Rigs Custom, or Refined Gundam Zeta. Now, let's go on to our next entry. We're gonna go with Seed Destiny Shin Asuka. Now, Seed Destiny Shin Asuka is not the same Shin Asuka from Seed Freedom. Seed Freedom's Shin Asuka matured a bit. That's actually a pretty good character. I'm talking about the original Shin Asuka from Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny. Now, let's get into why he is the way he is in that entry to the Gundam franchise. It was because his family was killed. A war tragedy. Stray projectile comes at the family, and Shin and his family were at war during the first Bloody Valentine War, which eventually roped in 3 factions. First faction that was roped in was the Earth Alliance, second faction was Zaft, and then the third faction was Orb. I'm going to pause this recording real quick and get a drink. And we're back. Now, let me tell you about something about Shin Asuka. Shin hates Orb during the Seed Destiny era, and that's because of his family being killed in war. I will give Shin that. If Orb would never have made the Strike Gundam and all the Gundams from Heliopolis, Shin's family would probably be alive and he wouldn't be a war orphan. Okay? Now, I'm giving Shin some grace here. I'm not gonna be harsh on him because I understand his point of view. Okay? Shin, the reason why he's hated is because his hatred for Orb, with the line of Orb, Lord Atha of Orb, he hated him for being involved in the war. My mom requested me to pause the video, so I'm going to do that. Alrighty, everyone. So, moving on to our reason why Shin is hated is because he hated on Kagali's father, which is Lord Atha of Orb. And something that you need to know, I'm going to turn on this light, is that with Orb getting involved with the war and everything, indirectly and both directly, trying to stay neutral as possible, it ultimately failed and Shin's family was killed. Now, Shin, being the one to have it where his family was killed, he hated Orb. So, both Orb and the Earth Alliance he hates. So he joins Zaft because he's a coordinator. So, Shin is hated because no matter how much Atherin tried to talk to him, tried to mentor him, Shin's hatred ultimately made him where he's just a pet to Chairman Durandal. Now, Shin, being the little pet that he is and being loyal to Zaft, gets a reward called the Destiny Gundam. How funny! The titles tend to keep on the names of the Gundams. Okay, moving on. So, with Shin and his whole family being killed, and he's a war orphan and eventual pet to Chairman Durandal of Zaft, ends up becoming something powerful though, because in Seed Freedom he gets redemption. He's actually pretty tame, mellowed out a bit, and he becomes a better character. Moving on to our next entry, which is number 7. Going back in time from the same timeline as Shin. Hold on. Alright, I'm sorry for the loud noise. It was my little siblings. It's alright though. They're little kids. So, boom. Going on to our number 7th entry is the red hair chick that I actually don't hate. I'm gonna be completely honest. Most of these characters I do not hate. So, our number 7 entry, going back a little bit in time for the first Seed conflict, we have Flay Asta. And Flay Asta actually hates coordinators because her father was killed by coordinators. However, she manipulates Kira through intimacy and stuff like that, and eventually she actually falls hard for Kira, like legit falls hard. And something else that we need to keep in mind too of why she was doing that, it kept Kira sane. It did. If Flay wasn't there, Kira would have gone insane and he probably would have joined Zaft and Earth would be dead. Anyways, Flay did all that to Kira. Eventually, she is killed by Rala Crusade, and it's history from there. But she kept Kira sane. She actually did love him, and she was a good character. However, she was hated by most of the fan base for unjust reason.
You should try this.
Hold on. Alrighty, our number 8 entry. Our number 9 entry. My bad. Is actually going to be very, 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 very surprising to some people. However, for those who don't really know, it's actually pretty sensible why to hate this character and everything. But at the same time, you kind of can't. His name is Isaac Joel. And Isaac Joel is featured in all 3 Gundam Seed entries. And let's just say Isaac committed war crimes, killed a child, some elderly people, a couple of young adults, and gave PTSD to Kira Yamato. Now, Isaac, being the one that he is, being someone that had a grudge, had a huge scratch or scar put down on his face from a conflict between him and the Strike Gundam. Anyways, he's hated because of the war crimes and of him being a complete jackass at times. However, as time goes on, he becomes more respectable and more mature. Kind of a Shinosuke situation. So not too much hate on him. Just know that he committed a war crime. Like a couple. Anyways. Moving on to our number 1. Our number 10 entry. Okay, our 10th entry, but our number 1. Now, this might surprise some people, but might not surprise other people. But first, let's do our honorable mention. Our honorable mention for this video is Jared Meza. Jared Meza actually continued on the Lala curse of the lovers between war. And the motherfucker killed former Rosme. Yep. He's that much of a jackass. Plus, he's arrogant. If he wouldn't have had the balls to be mean to Camille Bidon, the Titans would have won that war. Yep. The Titans would have won that war and wiped them all out. But here's the funny fucking thing about Jared Meza. He don't know when to keep his mouth shut. He's a pet. He is a fucking dick. And overall, Jared Meza does not deserve any sort of love. However, he does have a soft side to him. Okay, the redeeming part about Jared Meza, hold on. Alright, my bad. So, Jared's redeeming quality about him is that he actually cares about people too. He's human. But at the same time, he's such a prick, so it's easy to hate him. So that concludes our honorable mention for this video. And moving on to our number 10th entry, or our number 1 spot for the most hated. So, I'm gonna say this. Optimus Draco of the Titans. The reason why he's hated by so many is because he made Rekko Alond defect to the Titans, and Rekwa and Sarah Zabirov is actually in love deeply with Optimus Draco. However, it's one-sided. He uses those two girls. He uses people. He is very manipulative, and he's a misogynist. A wee bit on the womanizer side. But Optimus Draco, being the one that he is, being hated like that, also has his own fan base. I like his developmental stuff. I do. However, there's other stuff too that makes him a very cool character. He ends up leading the Titans and stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. Anyways, Chimera, let me tell you on how he got killed. He got killed by Camille Bidon, the pilot of the Gundam Mark II and Zeta Gundam. Now, let me announce some things before we go. I finished the original Gundam series, and I'm going to be doing a Gundam What If, starting from that period, going to Char's Counterattack. Now, I might go into Unicorn, I might not, it depends, but let me tell you something. I'm going to be calling this one, What If Zeon Developed a Gundam, not What If Zeon Stole a Gundam, or What If a Gundam Teleported up for a Zeon, because, first of all, I guess we could count it as What If Zeon Stole a Gundam too. I will say this, I'm going to do a mix between the original timeline and the G-Quex timeline, and I'm going to incorporate Zeta Gundam aspects into it as well, and some of Char's Counterattack. But I'm also going to include Star's Memory and War in the Pocket after I watch... No, I'm not going to do War in the Pocket. Useless, pretty much. It does it. No, War in the Pocket's not useless. I'm thinking about something else involving the Gundam Alex. Anyways, I hope you had fun watching me. I'm sorry if you guys got disturbed by the amount of cussing I was doing. Just trying to be interesting and being like human, but I care about you guys, and thank you so much for getting me to this point, reaching around 30 subscribers. That's actually a pretty good milestone. I only need to get to 50, so if you could help me out with that would be amazing. If you could like, comment, give your own suggestions on who should be on the next hated Gundam characters list, because I do plan on doing a part 2 to this to keep things interesting, because as time goes on there's more Gundam characters introduced, and I'm actually going to include some from the new series like Gundam G-Quex, Witch from Mercury, and maybe some of Iron-Blooded Orphans. However, I have to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans first. I watched a little bit, but I fell out of it due to the lack of beam weaponry and stuff, because that's not like a traditional Gundam. However, I had a change of heart, because watching the original series and watching all these different timeline series, I realized that not all Gundams are like each other. So I will say this too, my Patreon is Lord Banchnix, and you should go and find me, same profile picture, and I'm going to say this too. I am launching. I already have my memberships up, and I am going to launch my What If Xeon Stole Gundam full series on Patreon first, and then afterwards, I'm going to go through and upload each video to YouTube as time goes on and as time gets funds. However, I might just go ahead and upload the first part on YouTube, and then the second part earlier before I release it will be on Patreon, and then going from there. I intend to have this series be about 5 parts long. 5 parts. And I'm going to say this too. Help me out with suggestions for what I should do with my What If Xeon Developed a Gundam, because all of it could help me. Okay? Stay strong and happy Pride Month, and hope you guys are doing great. Peace, my Chimera. Subscribe, because that's my decree.